Say a sentence once, and it's a thought. Say it 100 times, and it starts to feel like a fact. That's how "I'm a failure" becomes a verdict, and "I can handle this" becomes a signal. Your brain doesn't worship truth, it worships repetition. Most people think they believe what they prove, but your brain often believes what it hears the most, especially from you. Whisper, "I'm behind. I'm not enough. I always mess it up," night after night, and by day 5, it stops feeling like a passing thought. It starts feeling like a court verdict. Repeat, "I've got this. I can do it," with the same consistency, and it happens. Your body cooperates. Breathing steadies, shoulders drop. You move like someone expecting solutions. Not because it's magic, because it's familiar. Familiar thoughts feel safe. Safe thoughts get repeated. Repeated thoughts become your default lens. Then you don't just think you're failing, you interpret everything as evidence. A late reply becomes rejection. A small mistake becomes "this is who I am." And your brain calls that being realistic. But it isn't realism, it's rehearsal. Rehearse defeat, and defeat feels normal. Rehearse capability, and capability shows up in your posture, your choices, your patience. Same biology, different script, daily. Here's the villain, and it's subtle. The brain's love for shortcuts. Your brain is a perfectionist that wants to save energy more than it wants to be right. So it defaults to the well-worn path and whispers, "I've seen this before, so it must be true." That shortcut doesn't only live in your head, it's in feeds that repeat the same fears. It's in ads that repeat the same insecurities. It's in relationships where a label gets spoken so often it becomes your identity. Tell someone, "You're nothing without me," for years, and they stop questioning it. There's a psychological glitch where repetition alone makes a claim feel true, even when you know it might be false. See a story 3 times, and the mind tags it as familiar. Familiar becomes safe. Safe becomes believable. Tell yourself, "I'm unattractive," long enough, and the mirror echoes the sentence back to you. Misinformation, toxic self-image, and overthinking all ride the same biology. Repeated input becomes trusted input. Picture your thoughts as footpaths in a dense forest. The first time you think, "I'll never succeed," you're pushing through brush, getting scratched, wasting effort. But walk that path again and again, and the brain upgrades it. A faint trail becomes a dirt path. A dirt path becomes a road. A road becomes a lit-up highway. That is neuroplasticity, the brain reshaping itself through repetition. When a circuit fires repeatedly, the connections strengthen, the signal runs faster, even the insulation around that wiring thickens, so messages travel with less resistance and more speed over time. In simple language, neurons that fire together start traveling together, so the brain looks at your strongest pathway and says, "Great, we'll use this one by default." This is why self-talk isn't decoration, it's construction, and construction obeys repetition, not mood. You're building the roads your future thoughts will automatically drive on. Loop 1. Your brain doesn't verify, it familiarizes. What you repeat becomes what you trust. So stop asking, "What do I feel?" and start asking, "What have I been rehearsing?" Because feelings often echo your most practiced sentence. Loop 2, a mistake is not a verdict, it's data. But if you repeat, "I always mess up," data turns into identity. Install one clean line. Mistakes are data, not verdicts. Say it after errors, not after wins. That's when you retrain the reflex. Loop 3, your feelings are real, but they're not always accurate. Anxiety can feel like prediction. Shame can feel like proof. But prediction is often repetition wearing a costume. Install this. This feeling is information, not destiny. It lets you feel it without obeying it. Notice the rule. The sentence must be realistic. Delusion breaks trust. Reality builds trust. Loop 4. A calm brain talks differently. It doesn't scream danger at every sensation. It names the pattern and waits. That's why CBT works so well. It flips the script through practice. When your body spikes, repeat, "This will pass. My body is activated, not doomed." Then watch the wave come down. A person with panic writes, "A panic attack won't kill me. It's adrenaline. It peaks, then passes." At first, the mind argues. After weeks, the brain reaches for the calmer script automatically. Loop 5. Consistency beats intensity. You don't need 100 affirmations. You need one sentence you can believe on a bad day, practiced daily. Pick one. I can tolerate discomfort. I'm allowed to say no. I can learn this. Repeat it for 21 to 40 days, not as hope, as training. Loop 6. If statements bounce off your mind, ask a question. Questions force evidence. Ask, what have I handled before that proves I can handle this? Ask, what's one small step I can do in the next 10 minutes? Your brain starts collecting proof instead of panic. Asking, am I capable, can beat I am capable, because the question forces a search for evidence. Loop 7. Build the road where you want to live. Your inner voice is not your identity. It's your most repeated instruction. So edit the instruction. Record your line as a voice memo. Play it on walks. Put it where your eyes land daily. Repeat it, especially on the bad days, because pressure is where new roads get paved, and old highways finally lose traffic. Here's the shift. You are not your loudest thought. You are your most practiced thought. If you've been repeating a story that shrinks you, it will feel true, even if it isn't. But the same biology that built that road can build a better one. Choose one sentence that is realistic and steady. Repeat it daily. Repeat it when you don't feel it. Repeat it when your mood tries to argue. And one day you'll notice the change. The sentence won't feel borrowed anymore. It will feel like home, quietly. If you walk the same road daily, don't be surprised you end up in the same place. So here's the question. What sentence do you want your brain to call true next month?